Come on now, you can admit it. You really want to know what the Donald had to say about that methed up zombie screaming at the camera at the State of the Union speech last night. Biden's official governing policy has been to just do the opposite of what Trump did during his term, then turn around and pretend in front of the American people that Trump's old talking points are really his. Given this cheesy bait-and-switch tactic, it does make one curious as to what the Donald might be thinking about the latest State of the Union circus. Well, I guess we're in luck because we don't have to look very far. President Trump delivered his response on Rumble on Tuesday night, exposing the real State of the Union. According to the Donald and most of us who are currently playing on Team Reality, the State of the Union is a lot darker than Joe Biden's teleprompter would have the low IQ masses believe. So enjoy a little under 2 minutes of some Orange Man reality check, and I will see you on the other side.
Here's the real State of the Union. Over the past 2 years under Biden, millions and millions of illegal aliens from 160 different countries have stormed across our southern border. Drug cartels are now raking in billions of dollars from smuggling poison to kill our people and to kill our children. Savage killers, rapists, and violent criminals are being released from jail to continue their crime wave, and under Biden, the murder rate has reached the highest in the history of our country. Biden and the radical Democrats have wasted trillions of dollars and caused the worst inflation in half a century. Real wages are down 21 months in a row. Gas prices have soared and are now going up much higher than even before. And the typical American family is paying $2,200 in increased energy and food costs each year. Joe Biden's weaponized Justice Department, and I'm a victim of it, is persecuting his political opponents. His administration is waging war on free speech. They're trying to indoctrinate and mutilate our children. He's leading us to the brink of World War III, and on top of all of that, he's the most corrupt president in American history, and it's not even close. But the good news is we are going to reverse every single crisis, calamity, and disaster that Joe Biden has created. I am running for president to end the destruction of our country and to complete the unfinished business of making America great again. We will make our country better than ever before, and we will always put America first. Thank you.
Okay, so sticking with the rebuttal or counter-argument theme of the video, let's go over another solid response. Despite being in office for just a few weeks, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is no stranger to the limelight, and her rising star shined bright on Tuesday night during her Republican rebuttal to Joe Beijing Biden's second State of the Union address. The youngest governor in America, Sanders began her speech talking about her experiences as a mother that left her, quote, not believing much of anything I heard tonight from President Biden, unquote. Here's the clip.
Being a mom to 3 young children taught me not to believe every story I hear. So forgive me for not believing much of anything I heard tonight from President Biden. From out-of-control inflation and violent crime to the dangerous border crisis and threat from China, Biden and the Democrats have failed you. They know it, and you know it. And it's time for a change.
Reiterating that America is the greatest country the world has known because it is the freest ever known, Sanders affirmed the belief that government exists not to rule the people, but to serve the people. Contrasting herself with Biden, Sanders said, at 40, I'm the youngest governor in the country. At 80, he's the oldest president in American history. The governor said, I'm the first woman to lead my state. He's the first man to surrender his presidency to a woke mob that can't even tell you what a woman is, righteously turning up the heat on Democrats everywhere. Here's a clip.
I'll be the first to admit, President Biden and I don't have a lot in common. I'm for freedom, he's for government control. At 40, I'm the youngest governor in the country. And at 80, he's the oldest president in American history. I'm the first woman to lead my state. and he's the first man to surrender his presidency to a woke mob that can't even tell you what a woman is.
Blasting Biden and the radical left for its vision for Americans that taxes you and lights your hard-earned money on fire while you get crushed with high gas prices, empty grocery shelves, and our children are taught to hate one another on account of their race, but not to love one another or our country. Sanders didn't let those across the aisle off the hook for anything. Whether Joe Biden believes this madness or is simply too weak to resist it, his administration has been completely hijacked by the radical left, Sanders said. The dividing line in America is no longer between the right or the left. The choice is between normal and crazy.
Whether Joe Biden believes this madness or is simply too weak to resist it, his administration has been completely hijacked by the radical left. The dividing line in America is no longer between right or left. The choice is between normal or crazy.
While her fledgling administration acted swiftly to roll back woke policies starting on day one, Sanders contrasted the freedom of thought and conscience championed by Republicans with the left's intolerance that requires Americans to partake in their rituals, saluting their flags, and worshiping their false idols, all while big government colludes with big tech to strip away the most American thing there is, your freedom of speech. Saying the Biden administration seems more interested in woke fantasies than the hard reality Americans face every day. Sanders explained that most Americans simply want to live their lives in freedom and peace, but we are under attack in a left-wing culture war we didn't start and never wanted to fight. That's not normal, Sanders said, speaking for Republicans and countless Americans. It's crazy, and it's wrong.
And while you reap the consequences of their failures, the Biden administration seems more interested in woke fantasies than the hard reality Americans face every day. Most Americans simply want to live their lives in freedom and peace. But we are under attack in a left-wing culture war we didn't start and never wanted to fight. Every day we are told we must partake in their rituals, salute their flags, and worship their false idols, all while big government colludes with big tech to strip away the most American thing there is, your freedom of speech. That's not normal. It's crazy, and it's wrong. Make no mistake, Republicans will not surrender this fight. We will lead with courage and do what's right, not what's politically correct or convenient.
Laying out what she and her party offer as a contrast to Biden and those pesky Democrats, Sanders explained that Republicans believe in an America where strong families thrive and safe communities, where jobs are abundant and paychecks are rising, where the freedom our veterans shed blood to defend is the birthright of every man, woman, and child. Biden, on the other hand, has made Americans less safe. Beyond our border, from Afghanistan to Ukraine, from North Korea to Iran, President Biden's weakness puts our nation and the world at risk, Sanders said. And the president's refusal to stand up to China, our most formidable adversary, is dangerous and unacceptable. The current president, Huckabee Sanders explains, is simply unfit to serve as commander-in-chief.
And the president's refusal to stand up to China, our most formidable adversary, is dangerous and unacceptable. President Biden is unwilling to defend our border, defend our skies, and defend our people. He is simply unfit to serve as commander-in-chief.
Quote, "This is our moment. This is our opportunity," Sanders told Americans, for a new generation born in the waning decades of the last century, shaped by economic booms and stock market busts, forged by the triumph of the Cold War and the tragedy of 9/11. A generation brimming with passion and new ideas to solve age-old problems. A generation moored to our deepest values and oldest traditions, yet unafraid to challenge the present order and find a better way forward. So on one hand, we have an hour or so of an old man stumbling and struggling to read through a teleprompter full of lies, at times literally screaming at you, saying bizarre things like, "Who would want to be in Xi Jinping's shoes?" Yeah, okay. So on the other hand, we have a Midwest mother and wife, a daughter of a governor, and a White House press secretary under the most unfairly scrutinized administration in history, who said nothing even remotely dishonest, as she presented the clearest case for the country moving forward I've heard in quite a while.
Americans want common sense from their leaders. But in Washington, the Biden administration is doubling down on crazy. President Biden inherited the fastest economic recovery on record, the most secure border in history, cheap, abundant, homegrown energy, fast rising wages, a rebuilt military, and a world that was stable and at peace. But over the last 2 years, Democrats destroyed it all.
Kinda makes you wonder how he got the most votes in history, doesn't it? Anyways, most of this came by way of redstate.com. If you liked it, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed, much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.